something. It's super fun, and you can come watch it at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you'd like to be on it, you can hit Emoji J, who just came into the chat, up on Instagram, or myself, to get on the show. I don't have anything else coming up right now, but I'm always up to going on featured shows and being a contestant. I love doing this stuff. So.
Well, thank you both for being here. What was the name of your show again, Emerald
It's
Empress?
called An Attempt Was Made.
An Attempt Was Made. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that. Okay, what about you, Yana?
Hey y'all, hey, my name is Yana. Y'all can call me Yana, Yana So, whichever. I am, just chilling, trying to enjoy life, trying to learn from life, getting back into the things that's making me happy. Writing, music, content creation, healing journey, you name it. Yeah, I don't have too much going on. I'm just taking one moment at a time.
Well, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all for sharing your energy and your time with us. We are just going to hop right into it with the first questions. Emerald, you did get the questions, right?
I did get the questions, yes, and I did look them up a little bit to refresh my memory.
Yes. Okay, awesome. Just make sure we're all on the same page and on board. We'll start with question 1.
All right, so I guess we're jumping right in. I always like to acknowledge the poll. We did see before we take it down that it was 2 people that said that they did not think that everybody had the clairs. So as always, we like to welcome those. If you're here and you stay and you're in the chat, please make sure you comment and give that perspective. We are used to having all the perspective of those that agree. We love to have some opposing views just for great conversation. So the first question is, do you think the clairs are spiritual gifts or just an evolutionary sense that we barely tapped into? I'm gonna repeat it. Do you think that the clairs are spiritual gifts or an evolutionary sense that we barely tapped into? And I want to start with, I love when we have people that I've never seen before. Let's start with Hazel, and we'll go to Emerald and then to Yanso.
I believe the clairs are a spiritual gift given by the creator through vibration and frequency. As consciousness elevates, we become more sensitive to the spiritual frequencies that are all around us. With that, I was one of the differing opinions. I do not believe that everyone has them currently, but I believe they have access to them. I believe they're triggered by trauma and then overcoming that trauma and becoming closer to the creator.
I love that perspective. Yes, absolutely. I like that. Miss Emerald Empress, how do you feel about the clairs as spiritual gifts or just an evolutionary sense that we barely tapped into?
Well, I was reading a bit more about this today. I know a little bit about it, but not a lot. So I've been reading and researching a little bit, and I found out that some people interpret them spiritually or biologically. Sorry, but neither views cancel each other out. Many traditions view the clairs as gifts or channels of communications, being the physical world and higher consciousness. They're seen as pathways where intuition becomes language, sight, sound, feeling, or knowing. But also scientifically, the other way, because I went both ways. I always like to have the good and the I wouldn't say good or bad, both sides. Both, yeah. So if we go scientifically and evolutionary, humans constantly receive far more information than we consciously process. Our brains are pattern machines, and we pick up micro expressions, energy shifts, tone changes, environmental cues, and memories, all without realizing it. So the clairs may simply be what it feels like when someone's subconscious is processing faster, sharper, or more open than average.
Absolutely, absolutely. I kind of agree with that as well. Miss Yana So, how do you feel? The clairs as spiritual gifts or an evolutionary sense that we've barely tapped into?
I don't have much to say because I don't know much about it. I was trying to do some research, but I feel like the research I was coming across on Google was just too surface level. I do feel like they are spiritual gifts. I do feel like we as humans, we all have like natural five senses, but the clairs, I feel like it's something more. So I do feel like it's, a spiritual gift.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Are we diving into are you going to do the plug now? I need to apologize if you hear my 2-month-old puppy in the background in the crate. I am so sorry.
I was wondering where the puppy was coming from, but I was like,
I'm so sorry.
I'll
Y'all.
let it pass. Bella. Welcome to Truth or Theory, everyone. This is a safe space where we like to think differently, we dive deep, and we question everything, but we like to do it in a fun and curious way. Anyone, please make sure you fave everyone that's active in the stream, and let us know if you'd like to be a guest for future topics so we can get you added to the channel on Instagram.
And so, as Jana was saying, scientists have discovered, we know that we have the five senses, right? We've been taught those almost since like birth. But scientists have discovered that humans have over 20 subtle senses beyond the basic five. And these are like ones that let us sense like Earth's magnetic fields, kind of like how birds do. And this means our bodies actually already have like the hidden sensory systems that don't fit into that normal category. So many researchers now believe intuition and then the clairs might be early versions of evolved senses that we haven't learned to measure. So whether you call them spiritual gifts or biological upgrades, the human brain is definitely wired for more perception than we use every day. And that honestly is a combination of kind of what everybody was saying.
I love concoctions. With that in mind, guys, let's make this interactive and fun. So it's time for the first round of our game tonight. Tonight we'll be playing Clair Connections. Round one will be based around clairvoyance and clairsentience. Am I saying that correct? Is it sentience? Okay. So the instructions is the chat and guess whether the scenario is a clairvoyance or a clairsentience. So you can, if you think it's clairvoyant, you could put CV for short. If you think it's clairsentience, you could put CS, CV or CS. So Lola and I will take turns going through these scenarios and just put CS or CV for whichever one you think. Reminder, clairvoyance is seeing or like vision, and clairsentience is feeling or emotion. So we're playing with seeing and vision versus the feeling and emotions for now. So let's just get started. So you're walking into a room and you instantly feel tension in the air. Is that clairvoyance or is that clairsentience? Walking into a room, you instantly feel tension in the air. Guests, you guys can answer out loud or you can type in the chat.
Clairsentience.
I was going to say clairsentience as well.
That's what I was thinking. I was just gonna write it in here.
It kind of gave it away with the word feel.
Yeah, so that one, thank you for answering in the chat, everybody. It is CS. So that is clairsentience. The next one is you have a sudden vision of where you left your keys. Is that clairvoyance or clairsentience?
Clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance.
Okay.
I feel like
Yeah.
I'm learning already.
I know, you're like, you right there. Okay, then the next one, you see flashes of a location you've never visited, but you later go to it. Is that clairvoyance or clairsentience?
I want to say clairvoyance.
Clairvoyance.
Okay. Oh, it's too easy. Okay. Sounds like an acid trip.
Come on, chat, jump on in. You feel someone's mood shift dramatically, even though they haven't spoken yet. Is that CV or CS? You feel someone's mood shift dramatically, even though you haven't spoken yet.
Clear
Yeah.
sentience.
Clear sentience.
Somebody saying sentient? Where you at, Chad? Anybody else? It is definitely clear sentient. Okay, and blue is just trying to throw everybody off. The next one, you sense danger in a place without seeing anything physically wrong.
Clear
You
sentience.
sense danger in a place without seeing anything physically wrong. Is that CV or CS?
Yeah.
CS.
Yes.
Absolutely sentient.
I'm so sorry, y'all. What? King of Hearts is so funny. He really changed his name to King of Hearts. Sorry.
Okay. While thinking of a decision, a mental image shows you the likely outcome. While
Clairvoyance.
thinking of a decision, a mental image shows you the likely outcome. Is that CV or CS?
I think next round Hazel's gonna have to type her answers out.
Definitely
Okay.
clairvoyance.
Okay, awesome. That was fun. Something fun to, keep us a roller coaster. We like to ride the ride here. Welcome to Truth or Theory. This is a safe space. We think differently, we dive deep, and we question everything in a fun and curious way. Be sure to fave all of our guests and fave anyone that's active in the chat. We are going to move on to question number 2 now.
All right, so question number 2. If two intuitive people have contradicting psychic insights, who's right? And how do you decide? We're going to start with Yana this time and go the opposite way.
I'm sorry. I have questions about that, but then I feel like, putting myself in this scenario, because I am an intuitive. So if it was mine against or alongside someone else's, I feel like time would have to come into play, versus two people or any party just being committed to being right. Sometimes we have to be open to not knowing everything, and sometimes time will tell, so, but I do have questions about that because I know I'm not always right. So
I love that.
And I would love to hear what questions you have.
Yes, definitely.
Miss Emerald Empress, if two intuitive people have contradicting psychic insights, who's right and how do you decide?
So there are different reasons why the intuitives can also disagree. It could be because they have different angles. The intuitions can be picked up on different layers, the emotional, energetic, practical, or future possibilities. Two people might be reading different aspects of the same situation. So they might be getting two different types of energies. So they might be interpreting it just a little bit differently. So they could be disagreeing on because they're feeling two different things. The intuitive impression always passes through the person's mind, emotions, traumas, beliefs, fears, and experiences. No one's intuition is 100% free of bias. So you also have to put that in as well. We all have a little bit of bias of either putting ourselves in that situation or feeling that thing. So you do have to put a little bit of that into the intuition as well. Sometimes we try to make it 100%, but our feelings can also cloud that as well. And then one person might interpret a symbolic impression literally while the other one reads it metaphorically. So someone could see it as being a symbol for something, and then someone could be seeing it, well, this is what's actually like happening or along that lines. But you can also look for the insights. So you can look for being calm and not dramatic, neutral and not emotional, clear and not rushed, and consistent and not changing every few minutes. And that can also be a fight of the two. So
I love that you highlighted the fact that the person, like it could cloud the judgment of the messages that are coming through, because it does happen. But from my personal experience, practice breeds perfection. So the more you practice that skill with whatever clair that you feel like that you are leaning more to, the more you can separate yourself from, what's coming through. But I love that, because people don't talk about that enough. I think that's what makes people distrust those who, you know what I'm saying, have the psychic abilities, because because of that. So I love that you said that. Ms. Hazel, if two intuitive people have those contradicting psychic insights, who's right and how do you decide?
And intuitive insight moves through frequency and personal filters. One person may be reading emotion, another a potential outcome. From a spiritual lens, the true alignment with peace, consistency, and nature of the message, not fear, usually helps decide or differ between the two. Basically meaning somebody's personal bias, like Emerald said, it will absolutely change the message that we're seeing and hearing. So both people can be right simultaneously.
Indeed, I agree.
I definitely agree.
Well,
yeah, that kind of a little bit of what each of you mentioned. It really, it comes down. So the interesting fact that I put is that intuition is filtered through personal perception, our energy, and our personal experiences. Let's roll. You can think of it like this. Two people are staring at the same painting. One might notice the colors and the other might notice the brush strokes. So when two people disagree, it doesn't always mean that one is wrong. Sometimes it just means that we're looking at it from different layers of the same energy. So we're looking at the same thing, but we're focused on different aspects. So I love that we all touched base on that, because that's completely where I'm at with it as well.
absolutely. You want to take a pause to say welcome to Truth or Theory. This is a safe space where we think differently, dive deep, and question everything in a fun and curious way. Want to remind everybody to keep it featured friendly. Please fave all of the guests and everyone that is active in the stream, and let us know if you would like to be a future guest for the topics. I'm sorry, a guest for future topics, so we can add you to the channel on Instagram. We're just going to keep flowing and go right into question 3.
Okay, so question 3. We will start with Emerald Empress, then go to Yana, and then Hazel. So the question is, if someone has strong claircognizance, do you think it's possible to confuse knowing with assumption? And how can we tell the difference? And so we'll start with Emerald's.
I'm going to try and say the word. So Claire, how did you say it?
Cognizance.
Cognizance is one of the hardest intuitive senses to manage because it arrives as pure knowing. No vision, no feeling, no whisper, just sudden certainty, but can be easily mistaken for assumption, especially when emotions are involved. What true Claire could feels like a quite grounded clarity, a thought that arrives fully formed out of nowhere. No emotional charge, no fear attached, impossible to explain logically, yet it feels obvious. A sense that you're recalling something, not inventing it. But what assumption feels like is it's connected to a fear, hope, insecurity, or expectation, and you can trace where the thought comes from. It feels heavy, loud, or anxious. So there's a difference test. You can ask, is this coming through me or from me? If the thought is emerging from your emotions, worries, desires, or past experiences, it's assumption. If it feels like it's dropped into your awareness unexpectedly, it's intuition. The more emotionally charged, the less intuitive it usually is.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you for that.
I'm thinking on that. I like that. The last statement is what I'm gonna make a comment about it in a second though. But
I love making people think.
That's the goal. Okay, and what about you, Yana? Do you want me to repeat the question?
Yes, please.
Okay, if someone has strong claircognizance, do you think it's possible to confuse that knowing with assumption? And how can you tell the difference?
This is one of the questions that I had. I don't have an answer for this one.
Okay, no, I understand. Sometimes it's hard to put what we feel on the inside into words. And I feel like this was one of those questions I wanted to add because this is actually a question that I actually have. And I just wanted to hear other people's perspectives on it. So I completely understand if you don't have an answer. Thank you for acknowledging and being vulnerable enough to share that instead of trying to pretend like you have some answer. What about you, Hazel? If someone has strong claircognizance, do you think it's possible to confuse knowing with assumption? And how can you tell the difference?
Yes, it's possible. When knowing comes from the spirit, it feels light, steady, and neutral in vibration. Assumption feels more heavy and reactive, emotionally loaded. The moment emotion pushes the insight, it's no longer pure knowing.
Okay, yeah.
I love that you. I love that Emerald Empress and Hazel talked about telling the difference has to do with emotion, and that's the reason why claircognizance is one of the things that we're talking about with the whole psychic ability part being hard to trust, because of how our brain processes things, as we were talking about patterns and making predictions. But then I also know that like the brain is the physical part of the mind. We have a mental space that it sits in, and then we have a thought space. Like there's always different parts of the body. And so it's that many intuitives do say the difference does come down to how it feels. And that's the reason why I believe that you can't take emotion out. I know that emotion can make it tricky because it is, a lot of times we're thinking about emotion as it coming from us. But because emotions is energy in motion, that energy could be coming from different sources depending on how you're picking it up. So emotion sometimes can cause some interference, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's taking it away from the clarity. It can sometimes. And so I do agree, yes. A lot of time the difference is when you can, this is how I say it. When we talk about our gut, like the physical response to feeling it here versus like hearing it or seeing it here, like having the vision in your mind or hearing like the thoughts in your mind. But then when you, something about the knowing is always down here in these chakras. And to me, that's how you know the difference. Down in the solar plexus, down in the root, that's when it's like, oh, I know. And that's when you get that thing of like, I don't know how I know, I just know. And it's because you feel it down here. And so that's my take on it. But it's like, again, almost like it drops into your awareness. And then, but still acknowledging that assumption is when, like you were saying, worry, overthinking, just when those type of emotions come in, that's when you do have to ask yourself, is it me? Or am I really hearing what I hear? Or am I really seeing what I see? So I definitely agree. I just think it's like everything else, it's layers to it for sure.
I definitely agree about the layers. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest, both sides of that of both of the perspectives, I kind of feel like Emerald and Hazel was on the same side and Lola added a different take there. I feel like it all, I don't know where I stand with it either. That's the beautiful part of it, I guess. I feel like for me, that that knowing would have emotion attached, but it would be something that I didn't have to like pre-think about. Like it kind of hit me in a sense of, what's that word called when you have like, when it's like a aha moment, you know? Something like
The epiphany,
Epiphany.
like the epiphany.
yeah, like an epiphany, right? I think for me, if it's something that I know and not assumption, it's something that's like an epiphany type of feeling. So if we're saying emotion because feeling is attached to emotions, right? You have to feel with depending on what emotion it is, then definitely that is something that I just would feel, which is crazy because you're saying, oh, I know I'm correct because it's something that I'm feeling. But okay, I'm not going to get too sidetracked. Anyone just joining, I did really want to touch. I saw Blue had said earlier, he said, assumption is when we search for an answer, whereas claircognizance is an answer that finds you.
I like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so anyone just joining, welcome to Truth or Theory. This is a safe space. We like to think differently, we dive deep, and we question everything in a fun and curious way. Please fave our guests. Make sure you fave anyone that's active in the chat, anyone you're vibing with. Also, let us know if you want to be a guest for future topics, and we'll get you added to the channel on Instagram. We're going to go into another round of Clair Connections. So this is round 2. The first round we played along with clairvoyance and clairsentience. Now, or was it claircognizance?
It was clairvoyance and clairsentience is what we did first.
Okay, so now we're adding that claircognizance in there. So instead of just the 2, we're going to have the 3. So clairvoyance, once again, is seeing and vision. So CV for clairvoyance. Clairsentience is that feeling or emotion. So CS, or claircognizance, that knowing or insight, CC. So we will go through the scenarios and you just say CV, CS, or CC for whichever clair you think is associated with that scenario. That was a mouthful. Okay. Okay, so you instantly know what someone's next move will be in a game or argument without any prior clue. Is that CV, CS, or CC?
CC?
I was gonna say CC.
Come on, Chad.
Chat loss. It is CC. So it's that claircognizance, right? And then the next one, you see a brief image of your coffee spilling before it actually does. What is that? CC, CS, or CV?
CV?
Who says CV like that?
Me?
He wasn't sure, but
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it was. It's clairvoyance. Okay.
All right. You feel sadness in a place that seems completely normal. Sadness in a place that feels completely normal is what you feel. Is that CS, CV, or CC?
Clairsentience.
Clairsentience.
CS?
Anybody else?
Are we all saying the same? Yes, we're all on the same page. CS, for sure. Okay, the next one, you just know how someone will respond to a question that you haven't even asked yet. Is that claircognizance, clairsentience, or clairvoyance? Deja vu.
Did we ask it in another form?
No, I said you just know how someone will respond to a question you haven't asked yet.
Oh, he called it
Right.
deja vu, saying like, "Oh, this is deja vu. I already know what's gonna happen." Okay, I like it.
Claircognizance.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
CC.
Absolutely, claircognizance. That's annoying. All right, it's on you, Rose.
So this is like the same way, but asked a different way. I would say, wait, Hazel, don't answer this one.
I've been waiting until the end. I'm trying, y'all.
Okay, you feel a person's fear even though they are smiling. Is that claircognizance, clairvoyance, or clairsentience?
CS.
You
I was
feel
gonna
it.
say CS.
Who? Okay, what did you guys say up here?
I said
CS.
CS.
CS. Okay, okay, okay. Hazel, what you saying?
Clairsentience.
She's like actually checking our grades for us at this point. Okay, yes, it is that clairsentience. Okay, what about this one? You get a vision of a stranger dropping their bag, and then it happens. What's that one?
That's CV.
Okay, Emerald. Okay, she said that with confidence too. She said, "I know this one now at this point." I love
And
that.
so it's not that we don't want to answer. We do acknowledge the chat, but if it's questions that take us away from the topic, then we try to just kind of wait because sometimes we hang out after. So, you know, definitely keep asking your questions. Is not a problem at all. But if you are just joining, we'd like to welcome everybody and you just catch up to where we are right now. We are talking about the clairs. There are actually a lot of them. But we have been talking about clairvoyance, clairsentience, and claircognizance all throughout the show so far. The psychic senses like seeing, feeling, hearing, or knowing things that seem impossible. And we've been asking questions along the way. We played 2 rounds of our game because we love to keep it fun and curious. Clair connections and seeing if the guest and everybody has an insight to match with the chat's guesses. And some of the ideas are spooky, some are fun, some make you wonder if we as humans are secretly a little more powerful than we actually think. Okay. And if you guys are ready, we can go into question number 4.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go into question 4. So for this one, we'll start it off with Hazel, then Emerald, and then Yana. Okay, so do you think the clairs will eventually be accepted by science, or will they always live in the gray area of belief?
So I believe science is beginning to measure the energy, frequency, and consciousness. The same realm in which spiritual gifts operate, I believe vibration will come, but some aspects of intuition will always exist beyond the instruments that can be measured or fully captured.
I agree. I've seen a lot of stuff where it seems like they're starting to catch up and to acknowledge a lot of what, and that's what this, a lot of what where the show derived from. A lot of stuff that was always deemed conspiracy is now starting to cross over to truth.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
Okay. Emerald?
Right now, the clairs exist in space between experience and evidence. So science relies on repeatable, measurable results. Intuition is deeply personal, inconsistent, and affected by emotions and environment, which makes it extremely difficult to measure with current tools. But here's the interesting part. Humans subconsciously process massive amounts of information, and the brain makes decisions milliseconds before we consciously realize it. People can sense danger via micro cues without knowing how. But also, this means that mechanisms behind the clairs may already exist just under scientific names, like implicit memory, subconscious pattern recognition, neural mirroring, sensory sensitivity, or microperception. So as science advances, especially in neuroscience, consciousness studies, and quantum information, it's very possible we'll find explanations that match what spiritual people have described for centuries.
Mm, I appreciate that. I appreciate that answer. Okay, what about you, Yana?
I love the way Empress has been breaking everything down. I've been learning so much. But I do agree with Hazel and what she said. I do believe that eventually, like, they will, if they haven't already. I'm not really sure. And how I know, I'm not sure. I just know. So is that my clear sentiment?
Oh, that was good. I like that.
Yeah, that was a good little that was a good little bar that you threw in there at the end. And I love it too. The insight has been amazing as far as the breakdown from the ladies
Very
that
helpful.
we just met tonight. I definitely took a back seat. For those of you that know me, I dip and dabble in all of it. And I definitely I love that people are just open to just learning instead of just looking at the psychics like we just crazy.
No, I'm here for it. I do want to give a quick fun fact. Some neuroscientists think that what we call psychic insight might be the brain processing tons of information in the background, then dropping that answer into your awareness as a sudden knowing. It's basically your brain hacking itself. So kind of, I mean, I'm gonna be honest because that's all I can be. That kind of scares me. Like if it can end up becoming a science, was it ever spiritual? In that sense, that's where I think about it with that.
Well, think about what science is. It's the study of, right?
Right.
And just, and that means everything. So science is not one thing, it's the study of everything.
Study of everything. So just because it's science doesn't mean it can't be spiritual.
Not at all. I think, like I said, I think that it's the awareness of more people being able to, in a simplistic way, going deeper than the surface. I seen Hazel about to say something. I know something struck her too at the same time.
I believe that was an answer of somebody who doesn't have a gift and who is trying to quantify it because they don't understand it.
Yep. And that's all science is, because at first you start with some type of hypothesis. So it still starts with that question, that guess. It still starts with having to I wonder. That's what it still starts with, no matter what. Now, it's taking me back to school. When you go in the steps of doing the experiment, you know what I'm saying? That's where, all these things come up. But it always starts with the question alone. And I think that's why it made people so uncomfortable, because people that were operating in their clairs weren't necessarily asking questions. We were just trusting what we saw, what we heard, what we felt, you know what I'm saying? What we knew. And while everybody else was asking questions. So it feels like the gap is being bridged a little bit because of what society is going through. Government changes, earthly and world changes, energetic changes. And so, it may come full circle, but I think that, as we've talked about in a lot of other shows, just evolution itself, ascension itself, stuff goes in cycles, so.
And I just want to add something to that. And that's why I think with the scientific research and all that stuff, that's why they have to put it in bubbles like implicit memory and subconscious pattern recognition, because they have to figure out scientific reasons why, like there has to be an exact, there has to be a reason why. So they're putting it under a bubble, under an umbrella, instead of just letting us feel our emotions and letting it just come to us. They have to figure out why it is. So that's why I brought that up too, because scientific may recognize it, but they might recognize it as something else. They're not recognizing it as the clairs. Yes.
Yes.
we made an example earlier of just knowing something, having seen something, and then you've never seen before, and then seeing it later on. I don't believe that science can quantify properly, because how do I see something before I've ever seen it with it being a microprocess in my brain? If I've never seen it, I've never seen it.
And that's why I'm saying they put it under an umbrella, because they don't understand it.
Yeah. Trying to explain something that just, because you have to ask yourself, does everything need an explanation? Does everything, do we have to understand the why behind everything? Because in a spiritual sense, embracing the unknown is a big part of being able to flow in that. Is to be okay that we don't know everything. And if you believe that time is relative, that's the reason how we're able to see things. You know what I'm saying? But again, science won't. It will never be able to explain certain things. But of course,
No, it has to be X, Y equals Z. There has to be an equation with science.
As a society or global society, we keep destroying information because we want to be greedy and powerful. So I don't know that we will ever quite make it to knowing all of this, because if we do, we overcome these obstacles. And I don't think that that's what is meant to happen quite yet.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what Soul was saying. It would be so boring if we knew everything. We have to actually go through and experience certain things, you know.
Yes.
Ruth said, I think there's been a big push for the acknowledgement of the multiverse as of recently. I think we talked about that too, because we had a show on dimensions. So we definitely talked about it as well. Yeah, absolutely.
And this is the part where we can, before we close out, I would like to see if anyone in the chat has any questions that's relating to tonight's topic, or if any of my guests have any questions they would like us to, you know, kind of answer. Yeah, Yana.
Well, I have a question. Outside of time, is there any advice or suggestions or answers on how else we can test if our gifts are in fact correct?
Like in tune, or different ways of like maybe strengthening those gifts.
Utilizing
I'll let the
those
other ladies
strengths.
answer. I definitely have an answer.
But I want to know too.
I believe with any muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. And I do believe that the clairs are a muscle. It's a part of our senses. It's something we have to use to access.
Emma, did you have a response to Yana's question, or?
No, I had more wanting to know the what you guys had answers, because I had kind of the same question.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Hazel. Like I said before, practice. The way to practice, the one way that works for me. Like I said, things always start with a question. So when I want to get stronger in one or another, I just pose it to, because I have my cabinet council that I work with already. So I am in tune with my spirit guides, my ancestors, angels, elementals, extraterrestrials, just everybody that I speak with, because I'm a channeler. So then I pose the question first of what I want the help with. And I've come to know that even that's what makes, you know, these conversations good, because just posing the question automatically puts something out, you know what I'm saying, into the atmosphere, in the universe. And so, and then Yana, you know, we're writers. So, you know, I know you have plenty notebooks and stuff. If you just take a book, or if you already have a spiritual journal, and write exactly, you know, what you would like to strengthen. And part of what I saw that helps is to go back to it. So if I just wanted to get better with, let me see what's a little gear for me. I'm really high with feeling, really high with hearing, because as a channeler, I'm always hearing things. Probably one of the clairs we haven't talked about is one that I feel like I need to practice more. I write it down and then pose that question, and I feel like instantly, the same way like when it's the tangible things, right? When we say, or not even tangible, when we say, when we look at it not spiritual, when we say, oh, I want to increase my patience. Patience doesn't fall in your lap. All of a sudden you'll get in your car and you'll run into traffic. All of a sudden you will, you know what I'm saying? You will call customer service and be on hold for 10 minutes. That is how those things happen, where it's like I want to be more patient. So God is like, all right, I got you. Put you in a situation where then you have to practice the patience, because you could be honking, and God knows I got road rage, honking and cussing people out in the car, or you could choose the opposite, and it might hit you in that moment. Like, I don't know if y'all ever felt that way when you're like running late already, or you're rushing, and then all of a sudden a car cuts you off and they start going like 5 under the speed limit. You're like, what the heck is going on? But then it's like, oh, I did ask for more patience. Maybe this is that moment.
Maybe I should slow down a little bit.
Yeah, I need to slow down. I need to not get upset. So it's giving you the opportunity. So bringing it back to the example, if it's something that you want to strengthen, when you put it out there and you're asking for that divine help, it's going to open up the opportunities for it to happen. And so it's like all of a sudden start like, stuff will start happening. You might like be scrolling, or you might have a conversation with a friend. You'd be like, I knew she was about to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll just start happening. But I think first, just asking that question, putting it out there, asking for that divine help is where the practice is kind of like giving them permission to say, like, go ahead and throw me in the fire so that I can, you know what I'm saying, get better at this. So that's my take on it.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, so it does sound crazy, but I wholeheartedly believe in the law of attraction. I believe in a lot of the laws, but is there any other questions that we have? Any piggybacks that we want? No, you're good. I feel like the law of attraction applies to all of our topics in one way or another. Definitely. If there's no other questions, guys, before we close, I do want to just give a special announcement. So tomorrow is going to be Lola B's birthday. So I know I was like trying to feel her energy. Like I hope she's not gonna. So I am gonna sing happy birthday, and if you guys want to sing happy birthday or take a moment to wish her well on this next go around, please feel free to. Happy birthday, Lola. Happy birthday, Lola.
You're gonna make me cry.
Happy birthday, Lola. Hey, happy birthday to you. We literally love you and would not be where we are without you. I look forward to your insight every Thursday and every time we talk and discuss, and you are an inspiration. I know you're an inspiration to me. And I feel like anyone who really takes time to get to know you would agree with me. So I appreciate you for truly and genuinely, always genuinely sharing your knowledge, your energy, everything that you have to offer with us. I feel special.
Thank you guys for the birthday well wishes. I appreciate it. I am overwhelmed with happiness. It's been so much going on in my life, but I think that I've gotten a better place that every time that birthday rolls around, I'm just really thankful to be here. I'm thankful for everybody that paths that we've crossed, and all the growing and the learning, and so I love it here. I love it here. I really, really do. I appreciate you all.
And everybody, that is a wrap for tonight. I do want to give a huge shout out to my guests and all of you in the chat. Your energy, your insights, and intuition made this episode so incredible. Tonight, we did explore the clairs. We tested our senses, and we dove into the mysteries of the seeing, feeling, and knowing beyond the ordinary. But next week, We're heading into outer space, y'all. We are literally going to be talking about the 3I Atlas, that mysterious comet or whatever it is that NASA spotted passing through our solar system. We'll explore its origins, its strange trajectory, and the theories about what it could tell us about interstellar travel and cosmic mysteries. So for everybody that's been here and for everybody that's just joining, once again, thank you. And now we still have 5 more minutes of being featured. We're really just going to go into our after talk. Thank you. Sorry, Jane. Yeah.
Definitely come back and join us and bring all the truth and the theories for the next topic I know nothing about.
I know nothing about either, but I'm gonna be honest. We already, like, it was like when we did the poll, so many people was voting for it. I was like, okay, well, I guess people really want us to talk about this. So Dr. V, if Dr. V is in here, okay, so let me tell you, Dr. V and Alicio are 2 of the 3 guests. So
okay,
you know,
so it's gonna be banging then.
we don't even have to talk that day. We don't even have to talk every day. Mac. No, I'm excited.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited too. So make sure everybody come back. We love the energy, even in the chat. You know what I'm saying? You guys are always teaching us something and helping us to keep flowing throughout the entire hour. So yes, definitely. I'm so excited.
And if you haven't already, please make sure you fave Unpredictable Hazel, Emerald Empress, and Yana Soul, our 3 lovely guests for tonight. 3I Atlas expert, hello. We're gonna need you next week, King. We're gonna be looking at it. I'm really gonna be there with a notepad, like, wow, this is so interesting. As if I didn't write the format.
No, but that's always the good part, because it's just like being able to get, you know, all the knowledge from everybody else, even though we kind of like are guiding it. It's amazing. 'Cause people always assume just because we're hosting it that, like, no, we're not the experts. we're just curious like everybody else.
PSAs, I'm not an expert. I am a forever student. You know what I mean? And the little things that I learn, I do like to share, because what's knowledge if it's just being stored, right? So, but just because it's knowledge doesn't make it true. My truth isn't your truth. So, oh, wait, okay. Perfect timing. Okay. Sorry, guys, my energy is pretty high because it's your birthday soon. So, okay, so this is a track that Lola B did for the Truth or Theory theme song, guys. Please listen to it. Hold on, let me know if you can hear it. I don't want it to be too loud. Today's a special.
What's your truth? Bring your theory. You have any thoughts? Cause we got plenty. Say you love to teach me, learn from any. All I hear, that's the truth, the theory. What you wanna talk about? Say what's on your mind. Respect is just a mission. This on the line. And knowledge is a power. We get it from the divine. Keeping it fun while curious. Yeah, that's how we should. What's your truth? Bring your theory.
What's your truth? Bring your theory. Let's play Truth or Theory. Hey, Queen, you went off. I would be honest. I cannot wait until like I'm able to add that to the like promotion.
I was waiting to hear it. Like, is it out where like on on all platforms?
No, so you guys know how I am with music. I'm always very, very particular about doing things proper. So right now, because I love Rose so much, I'm okay with sharing it with the TNT family. But as far as like, my intention always was to make sure that I have all the proper things set up so that it will be on streaming and can be added to posts, you know, for Instagram and things like that. So I'm still gonna do that part, but I have given her the link to share it, so she's gonna you can share it,
The whole track,
so that you can actually hear it from your side.
Mhm.
We definitely can share it in the channel, but I am going to make sure that I put it on streaming, so that it can be added to the future posts when we're promoting the show.
Yes. Amazing. It was an amazing show. Again, I want to thank everybody. I'm not sure what everyone is up to tonight. I know, Hazel, you stream at night, right? And Emerald, what's your streaming schedule like? When do you usually stream outside of your show?
I stream really early in the morning till about noon. Then I take a nap in the daytime, and then I'm normally on at night.
Okay, awesome. And I got a real question. I know, Yana, I think you said like this wouldn't be a platform that you stream on. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Okay, understood. And what about you, Lola? How you feeling about streaming on this platform?
What, on here?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've definitely thought about it. I have randomly popped on here. When I say random, like just no announcement, no nothing, and had pulled my cards out just to kind of get a feel of what it would, because I used to remember I told you I used to do Vigo, and I would do readings and stuff. And so like that's probably what I would do, because I'm using other platforms for other streaming. So I would, if I could do readings, I would definitely. I don't know what's stopping me from just jumping in and just finding the frequency. I mean, finding the frequency and just doing it more often. But I'm thinking about it for sure.
Okay, I'm here for it, honestly. I feel like now is the time to get on streaming in any way that we can, you know. It's becoming bigger and bigger. There's so much that I have planned for the new year, but time. Yeah. No, I kicked him.
Oh, thank you.
It was just so much, right? And
And at first I thought you would like
during the show, but then after a while I was like, okay, let's just see. I'm glad Hazel was just ignoring, because people just love to try to come in and throw us off. But who was it that said they had allergies? I don't always know how to read you guys' names on here.
Smackin said he had allergies.
Okay. So as we were talking about the Claires, if y'all know me, a lot of times when we're streaming, I'm picking up on so much energy. Usually my eyes start going crazy when it's somebody that has issues. Rest in peace, Brian, when he used to come in, my freaking eyeballs used to go nuts because I would pick up on his energy, and especially when he had headaches too. And then I just was, y'all saw me scrambling looking for tissue, because all of a sudden my nose started running, and I felt like I was picking up on somebody's
And
energy.
Matt just came in here.
I've been doing this the whole time. Sorry.
I was like, somebody in here got allergies. Why is my nose running?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna add something. It was Emerald and Unpredictable Hazel's first time being in here, and it's always like I love the show regardless, but it always adds a different element when we have, not just this week. It was a blessing. We didn't only have one person we haven't had. We had two. And so we got two unique perspectives that we're not used to hearing. And both of you, I feel like you both really took the time to, you know, even do research if you needed to about it. And I just want to let you know I appreciate that, because usually people are like, this is streaming, I don't want to have to do homework. But it's not. I'm glad you didn't view it as homework. It really is. It's coming from a
Did. I was super anxious coming here, and I'm like, I gotta make notes, y'all.
I take streaming super seriously. It's something that I do not only for fun but professionally as well. I have my show. This is what I do. I have medical issues, so I have a lot of time at home to research things and do things. So not only do I make my show as good as possible, I try to make other content creator shows just as good, if not better. So I want to inform myself always. So I'm actually really happy you sent us those questions, because a lot of people don't let us know kind of what's going on. Like with my show and stuff, I will tell people what the theme is, so they can kind of understand what's going on, because that's the information they need to know. But for yours with the questions, I really appreciated that, because I was able to, even though I know a little bit about it, I wanted to inform myself a little bit more and have a little bit more of I have a learning disability, so when I want to put my stuff out on words and stuff, I use AI to put all my words into a better perspective. So it's spelled out properly and all that, and I can get my words out properly to you guys. So I like that. So I was able to actually not do my homework, but do my homework, like be able to do it, you know?
Yeah.
So I actually appreciate that, as you being a host, you putting in the work and you doing in the work so we can put in the work as well. So I actually really appreciate that. And thank you so much for having us on here, because not only did I learn some stuff reading and doing research, I also learned stuff from you guys and your perspectives on everything, because I only did so much research, but I was able to learn so much more from Hazel, Lola, and even Yanni Soul's questions. Like I was able to learn so much with that. So thank you so
And
much.
I think that's like the good balance of the show, because of course we, you know, have a format and we'll have like the research, but when I came in bringing that element of like everything, the divine knowledge, a lot of stuff that I know that I didn't read in a book, not saying it isn't in a book, it probably, you know, somebody probably wrote it down somewhere, but a lot of what I know comes from channeling. And so I'm able to kind of go off the top of my head without having to think so much, because spirit is like kind of guiding my answers and helping me to kind of go with either things that I already know. And I believe you guys know what I'm saying. It's like, it's just coming back to my remembrance. Like, it's like, oh yeah, I kind of already know this, but I've always been a type of person where talking it out is how it, you know, as a channeler, the more you talk, the more the messages are getting downloaded, like as you're talking. So it's like a lot of times I'll be talking and giving answers and I'll have to be like, oh, that was good, because I don't feel like it was me talking.
I like that.
Like it came out of my mouth, but it didn't come from me, if that makes sense. So I always
It's like that outer body experience, but it's the outer body voice. Yes, yes.
Yes. And that's why I love the fact that Emoji J records it, because then when we get a chance to go back and watch it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I said that, didn't I? Because sometimes I don't always, you know, remember how I'm answering things. So it's good to have both sides. You know, there is research. And it was making me think of what Yana was saying. Sometimes, you know, because the internet is full of everything, you know, answers left, answers right, you don't always know what information to trust. But that is where we talked about with the trust in your gut. And just and also just knowing that, because when I in my prayers, when I want to know information that I know that, okay, I may have to go do some type of Google search for, I'm really trusting that spirit will lead me to the answers that I need to see. So when I'm praying, even when I'm pulling my cards, I'm specifically saying no messages of no intent or ill intent. I don't want those. But I will take messages of warning to heed. So if spirit wants to say, hey, watch out for this or pay attention to that, but I don't want to get any messages that aren't going to be beneficial to me. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know, making sure there's no trickster energy or spirits trying to come through to confuse me. I really make sure that before I even do any research, that I say that prayer and I trust that I'll be guided to the right answers.
I like that intention. I think setting the intention is very important, and no matter what, and no matter what we do, setting that intention. I I think it just it sets the tone and the vibration. Us speaking it, well, thinking it, speaking it, writing it down. That I feel like that is a powerhouse in itself. But I'm gonna be honest. This topic, I have mentioned that in the comments, so I didn't forget. But when you brought it to my attention, Hazel, I'm gonna be honest. I think I had probably heard about it in the past, but then I went and I Googled it. And it was one of those topics where it was like, hi, baby.
He's been crying for an hour.
Oh. It was one of those topics where once I started reading about it, I was like, this applies to me. I just never knew the words for this. And it kind of led me what we were talking about earlier in regards to as science evolves, things will start to so as science evolves, where was I going, guys?
Ty, we don't know.
Okay, somebody use one of the Claires and finish.
Well, trying to explain or understand my own gifts better, that's where I started researching the topic. And when I did, that's why I had to make notes, is because I'm very interested in these topics. I dive in really deep trying to understand myself better. And when I do that, I'm also an avid weed smoker, so I can ramble. I got to make notes to be concise.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's why.
Same here.
Us
Yes.
too, Hazel. Us too.
Okay. No, I just feel like as science evolves, what I was trying to say, thanks for reminding me, as science evolves, it will start putting words, and it might not be familiar words for, there might be a different discussion, but I feel like it's not going to always be familiar words. So as I was learning some of these words, I'm like, dang, what it's explaining applies to me, but the word, I've never heard this word, but what it is explaining applies. So
yeah, we live in a patriarchy, and men always want to be the first to claim everything. So we will never call it by the old name, even though it's the same thing we've been studying for centuries.
Wow.
What's the old name?
The clairvoyance and so forth, and now it's what is it?
Yeah, like
The
other
scientific
kinds of
words.
Yeah.
Some guy
Okay.
came in with science and said, no, it's not that, it's this, because I want to name it.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
think that happens in a lot of instances. It's like we know, and then we might come across it. We might come across the information in written form and be like, oh, I already knew this, like you were saying, but I didn't know it was called this. Because again, as humans, we're the ones that decide to put the title and label on stuff. A lot of stuff is just like, we just know it. It's just in us already.
But the clairs are from Latin times. Literally, clair means to know. So
Right.
somebody coming in with science in the 2000s and saying, no, it's called this.
Yeah, well, so
bottom.
on my research, it gave me claircogenence, clairvoyance, and clairsentience. So it gave me all of that to put it all into like one. So they put it all into one instead of what you did, which is it's all separate, which you did with the questions and stuff. But they put it all into one and everything, and that's why I explained it a bit differently, because I got 3 or 4 different answers or 3 or 4 different ways of saying it. So I didn't say that one because that would confuse me, because it did when I was reading it. I'm like, but that's 3 different things. That's 4 different things. Yeah.
I'm curious by nature, and I would love to find somebody who has the clair taste. What's that about?
No, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like
I've experienced that, yeah.
Sometimes I'll have like a random taste of metal in my mouth, and I don't know if it's like smells that trigger this, but sometimes around certain smells, it makes my mouth like taste certain things that doesn't even like remind me of the smell. It's just like, it's like a trigger it's a certain chemical. It sounds like it's
I think the simplest form of it, Hazel, the simplest form, because obviously everything has layers and it can go deeper, but the simplest form of it is when you just have a taste for something. When you're like, "Ooh, I'm just craving."
Then your
You
mouth
can
get
taste it.
watery.
Yep.
Thinking about it.
Okay. See, I was
That's-
thinking it
That's
was
one of the simplest
more
forms of it.
more in depth than that. Like you were gonna get some psychic insight off a taste.
You can when you're channeling, people's ancestors come through, like their favorite meals or stuff. It helps you to, because you know, because especially when the ancestors come through, they know they have to give that channeler something that will help the person who they're channeling for to know that that's who they're really talking to. So that's when it'll come up sometimes too.
Okay.
They'd be like, "Oh yeah, you're
Something descriptive.
You know, yeah.
Hmm.
There's other ways it comes in.
Well,
Because of the-
I've heard things like when you smell mothballs or something, like that would be from your grandmother if that's something you smelt, or like when she was around or something like that. So would that be like the taste as well?
Can
well,
you smoke?
Oh,
because
yeah.
of the
No,
fact
we're
that
done
in the natural, the canal is connected from the nose to the mouth. I think
Yes.
it does go together, but I'm trying to think of more examples for Hazel of like when it's just strictly just taste and it has nothing to do with like anything else.